Hello and welcome to today's show. I'm your host Molo Collins, and of course this is Sport and TV, your number one leading sports channel, and it's a big one. It is the 2024 African Cup of Nations, and Ivory Coast will be the host of this year's competition. Do remember that Ivory Coast are the 2015 African Cup of Nations winners, and this competition is going to take place at 5 different stadiums in different cities and capital cities in Ivory Coast. Before we get down, do remember to view, like, subscribe and share, and also drop a comment on the comment section down below. Let's get interactive across all social media platforms, and on Facebook I'm at Molo Collins. Let's get the interaction going, and I'll be sure to sample some of your views and thoughts on our next show. Well, it's a big one, and Ivory Coast, the Elephants, are going to open their account in Group A against Equatorial Guinea. Do remember that currently Ivory Coast are ranked 8th in Africa, and Guinea-Bissau on the other hand is ranked 18th in the African top teams. And in that Group A consists of 4 teams, and we have Ivory Coast, which is the host, we have Equatorial Guinea, we have Guinea-Bissau, and of course we have Nigeria. Do remember that Nigeria are the 2013 Africa Cup of Nations winners, and we have 6 groups that each teams have been pulled. And also on Group B we have Cape Verde, we have Egypt, we have Ghana, and we have Mozambique. Do remember that in this Group B, Egypt is the top most ranked team in Africa, followed by Ghana, which is ranked 11th, and finally we have Cape Verde 14th and Mozambique on 24th position. Do remember that Egypt won this competition last in 2010, and on that period they won it 3 consecutive times, that is from 2006 to 2010, and that is Group B for you. Well, let's move on swiftly and go to Group C, and we have Cameroon, which is currently ranked in 7th position in Africa. We have Gambia, which is ranked at 35th position in Africa. We have Guinea, which is ranked 15th, and we have Senegal, which is ranked in the 2nd position, just 1 spot behind Morocco. I do remember that Cameroon are the 2002 African Cup of Nations, and Senegal won this competition last in the year of 2022, just a few years back. And this is going to be a very interesting group, because we have also Cameroon and Senegal, who are the favorites to make it out of this Group C. Well, let's move swiftly to Group D, and we have Algeria. I remember that Algeria are the 2019 African Cup of Nations, and currently Algeria is ranked on 3rd position in Africa. And the other team that is in Group D is Angola, which is ranked 28th. We have Burkina Faso, which is ranked 10th position, and we have Mauritania in that group. And this is going to be a very interesting group, because any of the 3 teams can make it out of this group, and I am strongly pitting Algeria to make it out of this group, and also Angola or maybe Burkina Faso in this group. And we have very talented players in this Group D, because for Algeria we have Riyad Mahrez, the former Manchester City forward, and it's going to be a very interesting group for that matter. Let's move on swiftly to Group E, and Group E also consists of 4 teams, and we have Mali, we have Namibia, we have South Africa, which by the way is the 1996 Africa Cup of Nations winners, and we have also Tunisia in that group, which last won this competition in the year of 2004. I do remember that Mali is ranked 9th in Africa, Namibia is ranked 27th in Africa, South Africa is ranked 12th, and The team that is the most ranked team in Africa in that group is Tunisia, which is ranked at position 4. And also this group is going to be very interesting because I'm expecting Tunisia, Mali or South Africa to make it out of this group, and also Namibia is not a pushover in this group, so it's going to be a very, very difficult pool to watch, and any of the 4 teams can easily make it out to the next round of this year's showpiece, that is the Africa Cup of Nations, which is being hosted in Ivory Coast. Now let's move on to Group E, and in Group E we also have 4 teams, and we have DRC Congo, which last won this competition in 1972 and is currently ranked in 26th position. We have Morocco, the favorites of this year's competition, and Morocco is currently ranked in the 1st position in Africa. Do remember that Morocco did make Africa proud in the World Cup, the previous World Cup that took place in Qatar, and Morocco went all the way to the semi-finals, something that no African team has never achieved that mean, and it was a very, very good outing for Morocco, and so many are pitting Morocco to go all the way and lift this cup, because Morocco have been in a very, very impeccable form since that World Cup, and they've gone ahead to beating the likes of Portugal, the likes of Brazil, and they are having a very, very good team. And I think with the likes of Amrabat in their fold, I think that Morocco is going to do wonders in this year's showpiece in Ivory Coast. And the other team that is also in Group F is Tanzania. Do remember that Tanzania is the only East African team representing and carrying the hopes of the whole East African side, and Kenya this time round did not make it. So all the East Africans are going to bank and put all their hopes in this Tanzanian team, and they have a very experienced player in the name of Mbwana Samata, who plays his trade in Belgium. I do remember that Tanzania is ranked 32nd in the Africa list, and the other team that is also in this Group F is Zambia. Do remember that Zambia did lift last this competition in the year of 2012 when they were under the tutelage of Rene Hazi round, because we see that we have so many good players in each of the teams that are taking place in this year's competition, and it's going to be a very, very interesting time watching all the 32 teams fighting it out for the trophy. And maybe this is going to be one of the best African Cup of Nations that we have witnessed. But the one thing that I like to mention out is Cameroon. I do remember that Onana did not make this Cameroonian squad because I think that he had to settle some personal issues, so he had to be exempted not to travel with the Cameroonian team to Ivory Coast for the showpiece. And otherwise it's going to be a very, very interesting Africa Cup of Nations for that matter. And the question that is lingering across all people's mind is it going to be a very successful tournament for Senegal? Do remember that Senegal are the current Africa Cup of Nations holders, and remember that Senegal last won this competition in the year of 2022, and are they going to defend their title in this year's showpiece? And Senegal has a very, very good talent, a plethora of talent for that matter, the likes of Sadio Mane, Kalidou Koulibaly, and we also have Mendy in the middle, in that goalkeeping department, just to mention a few. And Ivory Coast on the other side, which is the host, is not left behind, and they also have talent. And we have Frank Kessie. This is a former AC Milan a box-to-box midfielder. We also have Nicolas Pepe, who once played for Arsenal, and we have Serge Aurier, who is currently playing with Nottingham Forest. And we move to Nigeria. Nigeria also have very good players. We have Chukwueze, who currently plies straight with AC Milan in Italy. We have Victor Osimhen, who currently plays for Napoli, a very hot property because so many teams in Europe were up for Victor Osimhen's signature after a very successful season of 2022-2023 for this Nigerian forward. We also have Alex Iwobi, who is a former Arsenal player who currently plays for Fulham. And Algeria also have Riyad Mahrez, the former Manchester City forward. We also have Ismail Benassar. And for Egypt, we have Mohamed El Neni, and we also have the Pacey Mohamed Salah in that forward line. And for Ghana, we have the very informed player in the name of Mohamed Kudus. Kudus is currently having a very good season with West Ham in the English Premier League. We also have the two brothers, that is Jordan Ayew and Andre Ayew. And Ayew, by the way, is going to make a record 10th African Cup of Nations appearance for Ghana this time around. Well, let's get the conversation going across all the social media platforms, and also share your views and thoughts, and I'll be sure to sample some of them in our next show. Tell me the team that you think that has the likelihood of lifting this year's African Cup of Nations showpiece. Well, it's a good one, and let's